Let me start with a simple question. How many of you use social media every day? Platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and X have become a normal part of our daily life, especially for young people. In Malaysia, social media is extremely popular among youth. Young people use their smartphones to watch videos, share photos, follow trends, and communicate with others. Social media is not only used for entertainment, but also for learning new ideas, getting information, and expressing personal options. Because of this, social media has a strong influence on the way Malaysian young think and behave. However, social media does not only influence behavior, it also influences cultural values. Although social media Malaysian youth are exposed to many different cultures, especially Western culture. For example, many online contents promote individual freedom, modern lifestyle, and new social norms. While culture exchange can be positive, too much exposure to foreign culture may weaken traditional Malaysian values. Traditional values in Malaysia include respect to elders, strong family relationship, religious beliefs, modest behavior, and community spirit. When young people spend more time on social media, they may slowly place less importance on these values. In some cases, young people imitate online trends without thinking about whatever they match local culture. This can create a cultural gap between young people and old generations. Other issue is that social media platforms often show popular global content instead of local culture. As a result, Malaysia's traditional language and customs may receive less attention online. Over time, young people may become more familiar with international trends than with their own culture heritage. This raises concern among parents, teachers, and the society. However, social media is not always negative. When used in a positive way, it can help promote Malaysia culture. Many local content creators use social media to share traditional food, festivals, languages, and cultural practices. This shows that the problem is not social media itself, but how it is used. Therefore, it is important to study how social media influence the cultural value of Malaysia youth. By understanding this influence, we can find ways to reduce negative effects and encourage positive use of social media. For example, digital literacy education, parental guidance, and promoting local cultural content online may help protect the cultural values. Based on this, our study focused on two main research questions. First, how does social media influence Malaysia youth culture values? Second, what strategies can reduce the negative effect of social media on these cultural values? This question will guide our research and discussion. With this introduction, I will now pass the presentation to the next speaker.
Globalization and Western culture influence. Homogenization can be seen on many fronts: language, clothing, food, and even how we celebrate holidays. And deeper influence is the gradual Westernization of their thought patterns and value judgments, such as giving priority to individual freedom over family duties and considering material success as the goal in life. The case of Malaysia is a case in point. A 2023 Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission's report stated that more than 60% of the content consumed by the social media user is produced in the West. It's not to say that the transformation is accidental. It is a systematic cultural influx. Peer pressure and online trends. Conformity psychology is exacerbated to social media. Then the iconic personalities adopt a particular behavior or expression or value organization and attract a lot of attention. The average user become motivated to follow. This imitation is motivated not only by aspirational considerations but also by fear of social marginalization. Although digital technology has become deeply embedded in daily life, media literacy is still not considered a key competency in the most education systems. The lack of attention to education means that young people are ill-equipped to critically analyze and assess culture media when they come across it on social media. When a tendency to promptly receiving rather than question and filter. The problems with the equation system are not only a need for a new version of the curriculum, but also a new approach to teaching. Such a change requires comprehensive support in the training of teachers, the development of their textbook, and reform their assessment system. But most countries, Malaysia includes, are merely starting. Low media literature. Good media literacy has been processed to include the following 5 aspects: technical operational skills, content information skills, critical analysis skills, content product skills, and critical skills. At this moment, the majority of social media users and most adolescents are still receiving proficiency in the first 2 layers. They know how to use the various applications and know a little surface information, but they are thinking deeply about ideologies, commercial interests, or culture base that inform the content. This link makes them readers, not players on the culture. Advertising and influencer culture. In the age of social media, online influencers are now vital culture intermediaries. For the fans, living this lifestyle means more than just a material consumption. They are consuming the values behind the lifestyle, putting personal enjoyment ahead the family obligations, focusing on outward expression rather than inward cultivation, and subscribing to the global rather than local identity. Consumer culture is not just about economic behavior, but is also operations as a cultural practice and as a score of the cultural identification. Why to buy is more than just a way to satisfy the material needs. This is a way of signaling identity. This costume-based culture pushes the merchants to their spiritual pursuits and human responsibility that have been the traditional current of our culture, and compromises works into the capacity to the consume and flat one test. Perhaps the most troubling of all this with this value system is perpetuated through this very visual media of the social media platforms. Excessive technology use. Prolonged time spent on social media reduce opportunities for engaging in cultural practice, family interactions, and community activities. When screen time displays participation in cultural events or intergenerational communication, the transformation of cultural knowledge and value weakness. This physical and emotional distancing from the cultural roots can accelerate the loss of the traditional practice.
So let's talk about the negative impact social media is having on the culture here. As you can see on the slide, our research highlights a serious issue: social and cultural degradation. The first big problem we find is the loss of traditional manners. We know that Malaysian society really values respect for elders and being polite, but online, the anonymity makes people feel comfortable being rude or aggressive, behavior they wouldn't usually show in real life. Plus, because they are missing out on face-to-face cues, there is actually a decline in emotional intelligence among the youngster generation. The second issue is what called language contamination or bahasa rujak. This is basically a confusing mix of internet slang, English, and Malay. It's become so common that many students now struggle to use correct grammar in formal settings, which is a real threat to the purity of the national language. Moving to the next critical impact, as you can see on the slide, we are looking at animation in family relationships and the loss of digital identity. Basically, social media isn't just changing how we talk to strangers, it's deeply affecting the most private part of life, the family home and the self. First, let's look at frying family ties. I think we have all seen this happen. A family is sitting together at dinner, but everyone is glued to their smartphones. This is what we find in our research. Teenagers might be physically present with their parents, but they are emotionally withdrawn. They are in the same room, but their minds are engaging with online friends instead of their family. The real problem here isn't just about being rude, it's about a break in the chain. When kids stop talking to their parents, the parents lose the chance to pass down their cultural ideals and wisdom to the next generation. Secondly, we have value conflict. Social media introduces young Malaysians to ideas from all over the world. While being global is good, it often brings in Western lifestyles that focuses heavily on individual freedom. When young people are constantly watching these free lifestyles online, they start to compare. They might begin to question their own local traditions. They might start feeling that their religious obligations or family duties are restrictive compared to the fun, carefree lives they see on TikTok or Instagram. Finally, let's talk about identity and consumerism. We use a term here called the digital mirror. In the past, your self-esteem came from your character or your community. But now, for many youth, self-esteem is externalized. It depends on how many likes and views they get. If the photo doesn't get likes, they feel that they aren't good enough. This pursuit of online perfection also fuels a consumerist mentality. Influencers are constantly pushing trendy products. This forces young people to chase after the latest things just to fit in. This behavior is a significant deviation from the traditional Malaysian culture, which actually values thriftiness and being careful with money. Now let's look at the bigger picture. If we let these trends continue unchecked, what does the future look like? On this slide, we have mapped out the multidimensional future consequences and risks. We are looking at this from three distinct angles: psychological, social, cultural, and economic. First, let's look at the psychological perspective on the left. We know that social media creates anxiety and that fear of missing out. But the long-term consequence is much deeper. We are seeing a shift where identity formation is becoming dependent on numerical validation. Basically, a young person's self-worth is being tied to how many likes or views they get, rather than their internal character or moral compass. Instead of asking, is this right? They ask, will this go viral? Moving to the middle, the social cultural perspective. As I mentioned earlier about Hazel Rojak, the immediate issue is bad grammar, but long-term risk is the erosion of heritage. The national language is a key symbol of identity in Malaysia. If its status continues to decline in social interactions, we risk damaging the cultural heritage that binds the community together. It's not just about words, it's about losing a shared identity. Finally, on the right, the economic perspective. In the short term, viral trends drive impulsive buying behavior, spending money on things they don't need just to keep up. But scary risk is for the future workforce, because this generation is spending so much time behind screens. They are missing out of offline, face-to-face interactions. This leads to a decline in soft skills and adaptability. In the future, we might have a workforce that is very tech-savvy, but struggles to communicate efficiently in a real-world professional environment.
I will discuss how we can address the negative impact of the social media on teenagers, focusing on the role of the school and the government. As we all know, social media is a huge part of life today, but it brings risk cyberbullying and education. To tackle this, our first solution is strengthen media literacy in school. Instead of just tell the student what not to do, we should integrate details safety into subjects like ICT and moral education. It helps students independent fix news and understanding their digital footpoints in Malaysia. The Ministry of Education is already leading to this through digital citizenship programs. Secondly, we need government regulation. The goal isn't to be ban the platforms, but to work with them quickly remove harmful and hateful content through smart law and regulations. Moving on, our next set of solution. Let's look at the home environment and the collection itself. Family guidance it carol. We believe the parents should guide their children through open communication rather than just um, assess, retargeting access by setting responsible screen time limits and using parents control tools. Parents can help teenagers find a healthy balance between the online world and real life. Finally, we must encourage positive contact creation. If we promote education and mutational contact, we reduce the space for negative influence. We want to empower young people and influence to create a message of kindness and cultural respect. In conclusion, Reduce the negative impact of social media is a team effort. By combining school education, government rules, family support, and positive conduct, we can make the digital world a safe and better place for everyone. Thank you. Moving on, our next set of solution. Let's look at the home environment and the collection itself. Family guides it carol. We believe the parents should guide their children through open communication rather than just assess, retracing access. By setting responsible screen time limits and using parent control tools, parents can help teenagers find a healthy balance between the online world and real life. Finally, we must encourage positive contact creation. If we promote education and mutational contact, we reduce the space for negative influence. We want to empower young people and influence to create a message of kindness and cultural respect. In conclusion, reduce the negative impact of social media is a team effort. By combining school education, government rules, family support, and positive conduct, we can make the digital world a safe and better place for everyone. Thank you.
Now, I would like to present the conclusion of our study. In today's world, social media has become a very important part of daily life, especially for young people in Malaysia. Platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook are used every day to communicate, share opinion, and express personal identity. Social media help young people connect with others, learn new information, and show creativity. However, our study shows that when social media is used too much or with guidance, it can also create a serious problem for country value among Malaysian youngs. This study focuses on three main areas. The first area is factors that influence young people through social media. The second area is effect of social media on young's behaviors, identity, and value. The next area is solutions that can help reduce the negative influence of social media in a healthy and balanced way. Make social media very powerful. One major factor is globalization. Through social media, young people are exposed to many foreign countries, especially Western countries. This country focus on personal freedom, money, beauty, and success. As a result, traditional Malaysian values such as respect for elders, family responsibility, and social humans may become less important. Another important factor is peer pressures. On social media, like comments and follows are used to measure popular. Many young people follow online trends because they want to acceptance and attention. Influence also has strong impact by showing a private lifestyle online, which may not be realistic. In addition, spend too much time on social media reduce time for family interaction, cultural activity, and real life communicate. Many young people also lack media literacy, so they find it difficult to judge whether online content is true, habits, and suitable. Because of this factor, social media could use a serious negative effect. Traditional manners such as polite language and respect for elders are become weaker. Its use of mixed language such as Bahasa Raja affect
peer language use. Many young people feel confused about who they really are because of online identity. It's very difficult for their real life identity. Family communication becomes less, and young people may feel more pressures to buy things and follow trends due to online advertisement and influence country. To address this problem, this study introduced the Digital Malaysia Framework. This framework is designed to guide young people to use social media in a responsibility and positive way, instead of simple limit and ban its use. Its framework includes 4 main parts: I-education, I-government, I-family, and I-create, which is standard for education. This part focuses on teaching media literacy and digital responsibility in school. Students learn more to think carefully, understand online content, and behave popular on social media. With better education, young people can make wise decisions online. The second part of I-government, which is standard for government. The part highlights the role of government as regular human online content can be rural, and the law can help make online space safe, especially for young rurals. The third is I-family. It's family. Family and parents play an important role in guiding young people through open communication and understand. Family can help these children development, health, and social media behaviors. The final part is I-create or creation. This part encourages young people to create positive and meaningful content that reflect Malaysia country value and kindness instead of only customer content, youngs, and encouraging to become positive content. The findings of the study are important for many groups. Students should strengthen media literacy education. The government should improve digital regulation. Families should guide rather than country young people. Every has a role to play to create a high-risk digital environment. In conclusion, social media is not a way, but it's a powerful tool, but its impact depends on how it is used. Where poor peer education, clear rural, family support, and positive content creation, social media can support country value instead of demanding. In the Digital Malaysia Framework provides a balanced and a practical approach to help Malaysia youngs become responsibility digital use with maintain strong country value. Thank you for your attention.